And what I want to talk about today is about money. And the reason I want to talk about money is because I think last week or the week before I talked about self-reflection and how when I practice reflecting on my life, I put things into 4 categories. I have my personal traits, my achievements, my possessions, and my relationships. And when it comes to money, money kind of straddles several of these categories. Specifically for me, it straddles one's possessions and one's relationships. What do I mean? Well, if I were to rewind to my first understanding of money, money was a tool to get what I wanted. If I wanted a toy, I needed money to get it. Then that evolved to, if one puts effort into working on something or providing some sort of service, one can make money, generate money, and then get what one wants. And this became more and more obvious as I grew older and I became a working professional. Now, as a working professional, one starts to generate money, and one can get to a point where they have enough money that you feel safe. And you don't just feel safe, you are now living in abundance, meaning you have more than you need to survive. When you get to that point, it's natural to start to share that wealth to some degree. And for me, one of the ways that I shared my wealth was if I went out to dinner with friends, I would be the one to pick up the bill, for example. I liked to treat people. But after some time, what ended up happening was that because I consistently picked up the bill and would say something along the lines of, I got it, people around me stopped even offering to pay or even make the gesture of, no worries, I'll cover half or we can split it. And I started growing a little resentful. And this is when I learned a very valuable lesson from my wife, Tanya, which was that we teach people how to treat us. In other words, by me always picking up the bill and saying, don't worry, I got this, I was teaching people around me to not have to ever pull out their wallet. It was a given that I would cover the bill. Once I learned this, I realized that money was not just a tool, it was something that affected my relationships. Moreover, I realized that it wasn't just the relationships with people, but my relationship with money itself. And this is when I started getting more and more into figuring out what this all meant to me. And at the time that I was exploring these concepts, I read a book that a friend of mine suggested called The Earth is Hiring by Paoli. And in this book, she advises the reader to do an exercise. And the exercise is to write a love letter to money as if it was a person that you really cared about. And in writing this letter, I learned something that was mortifying to me, which was that I was treating money as if money was my slave. I was a slave driver. And when I realized that, my relationship with money started to change. And like any relationship, you need to do some work. And I've been doing this work now for probably the last 5 years, and I'm getting to a place where I'm starting to really understand what I want to do with money and how I want to have a relationship with money. And it's been really, really cool. So what I thought I would do today is to do 2 things. One, encourage you to think about money as your best friend. It's not just a tool, it's a relationship. And number 2, I would encourage you to also do the exercise of writing a love letter. And now, because I knew I wasn't going to remember the questions or the structure of the love letter, I wrote them down. Here's the first thing you can start with. Start by asking yourself, how do you feel about money? Just write about that. Then follow up by saying, what is it that you're sorry for in terms of how you've treated money? And then you can follow with telling money how you'd like for your relationship to change. You can also add to that what your plans are with money. What are you guys going to do together? And then you can also share why you would like to have more. This is like if you're in a relationship with a partner and you want to have kids, why would you want to have kids? Why do you want to have more dollars, more money? And then finally, you can write how you would like for money to show up in your life. Just like if you're talking to a friend, how would you like for your friend to show up for you? And in writing this letter, a lot will come up, and it may unveil some things that maybe have been in the dark for you in terms of how you see, treat, and think about money. It's changed my life, and I believe it could potentially change yours. So in today's check-in, all I'm doing is sharing that if you can see money as more than a tool, I think things are going to start to change for you for the better, whether you have a lot of money or you have no money. And if you do this exercise of writing a love letter to money, I would love to hear what your experience was like and what you've learned, which you can share in the comments. And if you feel more comfortable with a private message, feel free to just direct message me. I would love to hear. So yeah, that concludes my little video today about money, but I intend to follow up because there's a lot of complex thinking around money that I would like to start to tackle here and share with you. So that being said, thank you for watching, thank you for being here, thank you for commenting and all those good things, for making me feel seen. I appreciate it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.